Now, real people, real opinions. Nighttime talk with Niall Boylan.
Ireland's classic hits radio.
Let me just read out this to you. And the reason I'm going to read this out, many, many years ago, I got this email. And I mentioned it the other night, and then somebody texted in about it because they didn't believe me. So I'm going to read it out again to you. And I want to get your views on it. And it says, "Hi, Niall. I was hoping you might discuss something on your show. I dropped my son off to the creche this morning, as I normally do, and I was quite taken back when I saw a man working there. I have never seen this man before and did not know they had hired someone new, let alone a man. I know I sound like I'm overreacting, but I can't help it. It irked me a little when I saw it. I know it's 2024. I've changed the date, by the way, of the email, because it was quite some time ago. And it shouldn't bother me, but it did. I don't know this man, and he's going to be working in the creche that I entrust my son to while I work. I think it's because childminding is predominantly a female job, and I'm used to seeing and knowing the women who are looking after the children. When I saw a man working there, it surprised me. And to be quite honest, I really don't know if I'm comfortable with it. I don't want to cast any aspersions on this man per se, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I just think maybe it's my issue. I would love to hear from other parents on this. Am I overreacting? Or would they be a little concerned about a man working in their local creche? I'm almost tempted to take my son out of the creche, but my husband said I'm being unreasonable. Thanks." Now, is she being unreasonable? Is that a complete and utter overreaction to the situation? Let me know what you think. The number is 087 188 0008. That's 087 188 0008. Is she overreacting? Now, I'm going to grant you don't see many men working in creches. And she believes that women are better and safer at doing that. But then again, didn't RT do a primetime investigates many years ago of children being abused in creches? It wasn't men that were abusing them, by the way. It was women who were physically abusing children. So, maybe men wouldn't be such a bad thing in a creche. But let me know, how would you feel about a man working in a creche? Is that just wrong on every level in your eyes? Or do you think, sure, hey, this is 2024. All right, welcome back. Let me go to Mike. Mike, hi, how are you?
Niall, how things?
Good, Mike. Well, yeah, all right. I'm just feeling a bit, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm feeling a bit under the weather over the last couple of days. Do you ever feel just tired?
I do, Niall, yeah.
It kind of catches up on you, doesn't it? And you
but the thing, Niall, you're a newly married man to say, no wonder you'll be tired.
Why? Oh, that activity in the bedroom, is it, or what?
You're a newly married man, extra activities.
Right, I get you, Mike, I get you. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, Mike, just getting back to this particular email. So, this woman is concerned there's suddenly a guy working in the creche. Now, it is unusual to see men working in creches. It's not commonplace. But do you think there's any reason for her to be concerned? Is she overreacting to this?
100%, Niall. 110%. To know that, to see that guy there, like, number one, he's got vetted anyway, Niall, before.
He would have to be. Yeah, he would have to be. Yeah.
And number two, look, that's what floats his boat. That's the job he would like to do. And he's glad to be able to get it.
Yeah, he obviously enjoys working with children. Yeah.
Well, exactly. And the other thing, Niall, what age is the child?
Well, so she doesn't mention the age, but I'm assuming creche workers are from babies right up to the age of 4 or 5,
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And what I would say to that, like, if you had 2 teachers going for the job in the primary school and you had a male and a female, who'd get the job first in primary teaching?
Probably the female, I would imagine.
Check it out now, buddy.
Well, there's a huge problem when it comes to primary schools in Ireland. I think something like 85% of primary school teachers are now female.
But that's not the question I asked. If 2 went for the one job in the primary school, a female and a male, the male is nearly... I had that statistic somewhere, sometime in a conversation along the line.
Okay.
Niall.
I haven't heard that, but I trust you on it.
Just check it. No, geez, don't trust me. Check it out. Thanks.
But I'm just saying, there's a huge lack of male teachers in primary schools in Ireland. I think, I'll get AJ to have a look if she can for me. But I think the stat is about 85% of the teachers in primary schools in this country, I think it's about 85%, are female.
Yeah, but to see all the males are gone to Dubai and the other place. And,
I just think they're not going into teaching anymore, or they're teaching in secondary schools, not in primary schools.
Yeah, well, I would have a nephew now that'd be a school teacher, and they did a big gang and a primary teacher, and they did a big gang go to Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Australia. Now,
yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know, and that's like, but, you know, that's just when, but like, you know, that she's totally overreacting, that she's having baby blues or something like that now, because
baby blues.
You know, you know, he's following his passion. That's obvious. His passion in like Niall. When I was going to school there, and I studied hard at school, I went to do psychiatric nursing, and I didn't get the job because I failed maths to my leaving. And I failed maths to my leaving because my national school teacher made us learn the Angelus. We learned the Angelus in English, Irish, and in Latin.
Yeah.
When we should have been doing sums, we were learning the Angelus in English, Irish, and Latin.
And you wanted to be a psychiatric nurse? Yeah,
I did. That was my passion always, Niall. And I in fifth year that time, I done what was not a program, and like not an essay either, but a thing on the social pressures on the teenagers of back in the.
Well, like a thesis you did on it, yeah.
A thesis, that's the word, yeah. And I got highly commended on it, like, because I put serious work into it, like.
Well, do me a favour. Just hang on, Mike. Just stay there for a second. Let me go to Pauline as well, if I can. Pauline, hi. How are you?
I know.
How you doing, Pauline? Yeah, you heard Mike. Mike says she's overreacting completely.
No, she's not overreacting. She's acting like any mother would react with concern.
Why? Well, not any mother would react like that, but she's clearly reacting like that. What's the concern?
No, you're not going to put words in my mouth. I said any mother would react with concern where there is a man, a strange man, in the proximity of her infant or toddler. You're not putting words in my mouth tonight, Niall. That's what I said, and that's what I mean.
Put me in my place.
Hello, can I cut in there now?
Yeah, far away, Mike. Don't put words in my mouth, whatever you do. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, then, what I would say, if I was running that creche, I would tell the mother, then you have a choice. Leave your child there or take your child out of it. There's plenty of other children looking to get into a creche. And that is absurd in what you're saying there. Like, so you're saying that every male guy, any male guy working in a creche is a paedophile or something like that, is it? Is that what you're insinuating?
You're the one who said that. And in the first instance, where your comment is concerned, it wouldn't be up to the creche owner to decide whether that mother makes a decision based on whether her child will stay there or not. It would be up to the mother and father, not the creche owner. Now, let's get back to the question. Is she being out of order or overreacting? She most certainly is not overreacting. I would, under no circumstance, allow any man, any strange man, to change the nappy of my infant or dress and undress my infant or toddler. End of story.
Unless he was your husband.
Unless it was my husband. End of story.
So
now you can all twist and do what you like with all this crap that's going on, including the load of crap that you all just gave that elderly man, John, about the right of the unborn child.
Okay, let's not go back to that again.
The only one who was willing to stand up for a little infant.
Okay, let's not go back to the previous topic, Pauline. Stick to this topic.
This is all about an agenda. This is all an agenda. It's on radio stations and everything else. Okay. And we've all had enough of it.
Okay.
No is the answer.
No. Pauline, if it was me and I was a father and I was going to a creche and I had a 2-year-old baby boy or girl for that matter, and I saw a male worker in the creche, it wouldn't bother me.
That's your prerogative.
You said any mother or father would be concerned. I wouldn't be concerned.
No, I said any mother.
Yes.
Well, Pauline, I said any mother.
Can I cut in there, so Pauline? And don't take me wrong, no, Pauline. Like, what are you going to? You're going to put your child in a glass case for its entirety. Like,
nothing to do. None of us were reared in glass cases, including yourself. When my parents, my older sisters, or brother, but not my brother, I have to say, when my older sisters needed a babysitter for their little boys or girls, we, the younger sisters, were brought to look after the children. No stranger, and in particular, no male stranger, was brought into their home to mind their infants. Nor were their infants dropped off to an establishment when in actual fact they should be at home with their mother and father, but the government have it the way they have it. Nor were they dropped off to a total stranger who they never met and weren't informed about to mind their infant. It's a no-no. We've had enough of it. The people in this country are sick of this shit, and the nonsense being pushed down our kids in schools as well is out of order.
Okay, Pauline, with respect, Primetime Investigates did a programme going back about 3 years ago, or more, maybe a little bit more actually, about abuse that was going on in creches, and they had hidden cameras and all sorts of carry on. You might remember it. And there was loads of people were found to be abusing the children, physically abusing the children. They were all women. They weren't men.
Then why would you put your child in the creche at all?
Well, that's a whole other... Let's not get into that tonight. That's a whole other question. I'm just saying to you, you're saying this is something that men would do. I'm telling you it was women that did it.
If I were you and I knew that, I would be doubly concerned to see a man in the creche. If I were you.
When you say, I don't want a man changing my baby or my infant's nappy, what do you think the man's going to do? He's Garda vetted.
Well, I wouldn't want my little infant or toddler, either male or female child, to think it's normal for a man to dress or undress them, particularly one that I wasn't informed about, or particularly ones like you watched on programs.
But you don't mind a strange woman doing it to the child.
Bad enough that people...
No, hang on. I want to establish something, Pauline, here, okay? But you would have no issue with a woman that, when I say a woman that you don't know, a woman that works in the creche, you would have no issue with the woman in the creche changing your child's nappy.
No, let me finish.
No, I'm asking you a question. Let
me finish. It's bad enough young couples have to go and put their children in these establishments to go out and pay for bricks and mortar for most of the children's lives.
We get that.
But not being informed as to who's looking after them, that's a no-no.
Okay, but then just satisfy me and answer my question. It is what it is, and people do put children into creches, right? So, would you have an issue with a professional creche worker, female, changing the nappy of a child?
They have to. They have no choice.
Okay, but I'm just saying you've no issue with that.
My children than anybody, but ideally they should be at home with their parents. But the government.
Okay, you're still not answering my question. You're still not answering my question. So you generally, if it has to be done, it has to be done. We can argue about the pros and cons of creches another night, right? We're talking about the fact that they do exist right at this moment in time, and people do have their children in them. But you would have no issue with a woman changing the nappy of a child, but you do have an issue with a man.
They have no choice unless we want to go down to the LBQ too.
Okay, but you do have an issue with a man changing the nappy.
Two sexes, and predominantly and normally it's women who look after children.
Okay. So why? What's the man going to do? What's the difference between a man and a woman? What's the difference between a man and a woman? Is a man going to abuse the child or something, or does he get some sort of thrill out of it, or what's going on there?
It is not normal normally in the nature of a man to want to be around infants for that type of a job in any case.
But most men are fathers. Most men are fathers and have changed their own children's nappies.
An awful lot of them are abandoned fathers, most of. But no, most men are not fathers necessarily.
Yes, they are. I would imagine I would imagine that most men at some point in their life are fathers.
Active fathers in children's lives. The last thing I would want, and I don't care how much you twist this or
you're the one who's twisting it slightly, Pauline. Most men are fathers at some point in their life.
To accept all this new shit
There's
that
nothing
nobody
new.
wants.
There's nothing new about men being fathers, by the way. That's been this since the dawn of time.
They don't want the crap being taught to their kids in school about sex when they don't even know what the word means.
We're not talking about sex. You're bringing sex into it now. We're talking about a man working in a creche, and you've gone off on a tangent about sex education.
He'd be better off in a pair of wellies and a shovel and be a proper man. That's why they're all so fucking confused nowadays. Okay. A man needs to be a man and a woman. It's not the place for a man.
So women look after the babies, men get a shovel and wear a pair of wellies and go out and take the garden. See, there you go, Mike. There's what you're dealing with.
You're the ones, Pauline, steady there now, honey. You're the ones that put equal rights.
No, hang on, Pauline. Let Mike speak, will you, please?
I'm just going to finish. Men don't carry babies and they don't give birth to babies. They don't breastfeed babies. They don't nurture babies. Why, in the name of Jesus, would one of them want to work in a creche?
Go ahead.
I should go, Pauline, you're after the scale altogether from here. Tell me, look, women are looking for equal rights, and that.
I'm not looking for equal rights.
What you say?
And to be honest with you, I'm not looking for equal rights. And to be honest with you, nowadays, it seems that men are looking for some kind of rights because they don't know what they are. They actually don't know what they are anymore.
Sure,
no, Pauline, you're referring to a different article altogether.
Yeah, she is. She's gone down a different road there altogether. I'm just looking at the full moon out tonight as well. I was wondering what it was. Pauline.
Yeah, you're always at the condescending crap.
No, I'm not. I know, but what? No, you're insulting me, Pauline.
I'm just telling you.
No, because what you're saying. No, let me just get this clear. See, so what you're saying is you're suspicious of men with babies.
No, I'm not suspicious of anybody. In your right mind, why would you allow a total stranger, particularly if they're a male? You have no choice in a creche. There has to be somebody to do it.
But you have to, in your life, you do have to trust strangers with your children, like a school teacher when they're 4 or 5, a secondary school teacher when they're 11. You do have to trust strangers with your children at some point.
No, you don't. Why was the mother not informed? Was it because he was male?
Hang on, Lily, we'll stay there. Lily, hi, how are you?
Hi, Niall.
Yeah, go ahead, Lily. What do you want to say?
I totally agree with Pauline about the fact that the mother was not informed. She should have got an email or a phone call the previous evening to say there will be a male teacher.
Why?
At the
Why do they have to warn everybody? It's like, what, should he have a little bell and a light on his head or something just in case? That's bizarre, Lily.
I know. Okay.
I mean, if a new woman started in the creche, would you expect to get a warning in the post? No.
No, you're right.
So why would you get a warning for a man?
No, not a warning.
Hang on, Pauline. Let Lily finish what she's saying. Go ahead.
Sorry. No. People should be informed previously when you're dealing with kids. And maybe if they just said there's a different teacher tomorrow. The woman went to the school. She probably got alarmed to see a strange man there. I'd be very reluctant myself, but he probably has been vetted and everything. I'm not saying anything against men or anything like that. No, I'm not saying anything, but it's just
by the priest and the police. The priest and the police, they're real good at that.
I'm sure there's male childminders listening tonight, horrified at what you're saying.
Let's go get a proper job.
A proper job. Okay.
Pair of wellies and shovels. That's the kind of work they should be doing.
Okay, yes. Job. Okay, well, let Lily finish what she's saying. Lily, I mean, I'm lost here. We're begging and crying for equality all the time, talking about men and women being treated equally. I know they're not. I know they're different. Of course, men and women are different, but being treated equally with the same opportunities. And here we have a man who wants to work in a creche, and you're all suggesting that there's something suspicious about it.
No, not suspicious, Niall. I'm just saying that all the parents should have been informed. Just to say there's a different teacher tomorrow. It won't be the one that was there today. But this woman just brought her child in and she said, got a bit
But it wouldn't be... but Lily, when your child is in a creche, there's staff come and go. It wouldn't be normal procedure to send a note out to the parents saying there's a new creche worker start. They probably have 5 or 6 staff, 7 staff, I don't know. It wouldn't be normal procedure just to have to inform the parents every time someone new starts. That's not normal procedure. So why would you do it just because that's a man?
No, it doesn't matter whether it doesn't matter whether it's a male or female. But kids are she was probably just alarmed to see a strange man there taking her child in. It could have been a strange woman as well. They should have been informed, and maybe if they said, we don't know how you feel, like they should have been a bit more.
You're only saying this because it's a man. You're only saying this. If this topic was about a new female worker, you wouldn't say that.
I know. Okay.
You wouldn't. Come on, be honest with me, Lily. You wouldn't say that.
There's male nurses. There's male doctors that deal with people every day of the week.
Yeah, I don't know what Pauline would do in that situation. Pauline, what would you do if your infant was sick and you had to bring her to a doctor and it was a male doctor?
Well used to it. Born with a heart condition. Well used to male doctors since I was.
Okay, so but that's a strange man, a strange doctor, a man. It was a male doctor, and he needs to undress your child to examine it. Would you have a problem?
And my parents were always with me, and that's the only way it should be. And I don't care whether you like that or not. That's the way it was. That's the way it would be for me. I would not be leaving my child in the hands of any strange man for any reason, much less for their nappies to be changed or undressed and dressed again. It wouldn't happen. End of.
But you would leave your child with a strange woman?
I would leave my child in the care of, if I was like most poor couples, God love them, out paying all their lives, not even
because all men are potential pedos.
I would leave them if I had to, in the best circumstances that I had to, being a female-run creche and female worked creche, certainly with no men in it. End of story.
Because all men are potential pedos. Is that what the problem is here?
You think what you like. They don't.
No, you might as well just say it, Pauline.
They don't give birth. They don't conceive.
And they're all pedos. They're all a bunch of pedos. That's what you're saying.
They need a shovel and a pair of wellies, as far as I'm concerned, and a proper job.
So what? Being a creche worker is not a proper job, is it?
Job. And the ones that are coming home thinking that they're Mary when they're actually Mark need a good slap in the head.
Right, so are you telling me being a creche worker is not a proper job?
Not for a man.
Oh, right, okay.
Something wrong.
What about a woman who works in construction or she drives a digger? Is that a proper... Should she go home and put a dress on her and make the dinner?
I've seen a few of them out on the road. They're going to look real funny when they're 9 months pregnant, but here we go. Let's see how it's working.
Do you have a problem with women working on a building site? Should they go home and put their lipstick on and make the dinner?
I didn't say that.
I'm just saying.
They're going to look like white gobshites 9 months pregnant out telling the
I'm assuming if they're 9 months pregnant, they're not going to be driving diggers, by the way, because they're not stupid.
Right. In the pissing rain, 9 months pregnant out directing a JCB and shoveling shite. Get them on. Let's see how much they're like men, if they really think they are. I'm not looking for equality. I'm looking for normality. And no matter how much this agenda is pushed on all of us, the same with the shit that they're pushing today on that man who's trying to protect the right of an unborn
child. You keep going back to the previous topic again. We're kind of finished with that one. Stay there, Pauline. Lily, just before I go to Tom, would you take your child out of the creche?
Sorry, would I take my child out? No, I would be very polite and just say, there's nothing wrong with a man teaching in a creche. There is absolutely nothing. I've no problem with a man. I've no problem with a man teaching, but I'm just saying that they should have been informed, whether it was a man or a woman. They should have been informed and said, there's a different teacher tomorrow.
Well, they're not teachers. They're kind of minders. Well, they do teach somewhat, but they generally just change the children if they wet themselves or soil themselves or whatever. Yep.
Yeah,
but Lily, I would argue with you once again, that would not be normal procedure. I'm assuming creches around the country don't have to inform parents every time a new member of staff starts, or they'd be there all day doing stuff like that. Stay there for a second. Tom, hi, how are you, Tom?
How are you? How's things now?
Yeah, you've listened to Pauline there.
Yeah.
She's very angry.
Very angry, but
you know what? I'm sick of this shit in every aspect.
Okay, we get it. We get you're sick of it.
We're all sick of it.
Okay, we're all sick of it. Okay, hang on. So let's just let Tom speak, Pauline.
We've come a long way looking for equality where women are still not there at the minute. Yeah. But, I think this chap, if he's got the job, he's been vetted, he's been interviewed, he's gone through a process, and especially in childcare, when you're vetted, the vetting goes through a very strict check. I work in an environment in that, and I see Garda vetting all the time, and every box is ticked. And the fact that person is working there, if that's the job he chooses, if it was the other way around and it was a woman and we were against that happening, there'd be the uproar. He's gone through the vetting process. He's doing the job he wants to do, and not only that, he's not on his own there. No,
there's other people there. Yeah, it's not like he could get away with anything. Not that he would be getting away with anything.
I would have no problem with that. And this act of informing people.
She would, yeah.
So every time a new
I would have a problem with my child thinking it's normal for a man to undress them and dress them. End of story. And it doesn't have to go any further than that. That's enough. It wouldn't happen.
Well, That's your prerogative.
That's my prerogative. That's what I'm here for, to tell you what I think, and that's what I think. And I know there's thousands out there, just like with what's being pushed on the kids in the schools, who agree with me. And the sooner this crap stops, the better, and we can all get back to our normal life and get on with being happy.
It's not normal life to have men working with children, is it not? No, that's
it's not normal. I'd be if my son turned
because
around,
why, we're all a bunch of potential pedos, is that it?
I tell him to get a grip of himself.
See, Tom,
and
this is
go
what
and
you're
get a
dealing with.
man's job.
See, Tom, this is it. We're all men, it seems, are a bunch of potential pedos.
I disagree with you.
The only one used the word is you, Niall.
I'm just saying, that's what you're implying, Pauline.
No, I'm not implying nothing. I just told you I don't want no strange man undressing and dressing my infants or changing their nappies.
You might as well just add to the end of the sentence, because they're all a bunch of potential pedos. Because that's what
you can call them what they like.
But that's what you're implying. You're implying they would do something wrong.
I just told you why I wouldn't allow my child to think it's okay, that mommy and daddy think it's okay for a strange man to dress her and
okay, you've said it. You've said it. Okay, well, let me just go to David before the news as well. David, hi, how are you?
Hello, Niall. How are you? I'm a bit flabbergasted.
I've got 2 minutes. I've 2 minutes here, David. Go on, give it socks.
Yeah, look, come here. I work in the caring profession myself, Niall, and I work with several male colleagues. And to be honest, they're absolutely salt of the earth. They're guard-vetted, which means they break any law whatsoever, and they cannot work in the industry. Now, I have a nephew who's a primary school teacher, and to be honest, I've changed adult nappies of ladies because that's my job.
Pauline might have an issue with that.
I'm quite sure she would.
Pauline, do you have an issue with that?
I certainly do have an issue with it.
Yeah, well, if you ended up in a nursing home, it could be me and Steph as well, Pauline.
Whether you like it or not, Niall, or whether your agenda likes it or not, I have an issue with it.
Do you have an issue with a female nurse changing the nappy of an elderly man who may be incontinent?
No.
But you have an issue with a man changing the nappy of a woman who may be incontinent?
Her nature is to nurture. That is not the nature of a man. End of story.
Just a minute, just a minute,
very
Pauline.
quickly, David. Go on, David.
Pauline, men can be nurturing as well. Men have caring attitudes as well. We're not all Neanderthals that are going around trying to have sex with everything we see in front of us. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care what they are.
Come here, Pauline. You have a very bad attitude or opinion of men altogether. We're not all
two things I wanted to do. One was to be a guard, the other was to be a nurse. I tried them all. And I am telling you, I absolutely have an issue. There were no men working in a nursing home when I was there. My mother was in a nursing home. I do have
So now you not only have an issue with male creche workers, you also have an issue with men working in care homes.
I have an issue with men working in the role that a woman is normally attracted to because of her nature. End of story.
There you go. Okay. There you go, Davis.
So basically, Pauline, men have no caring bone in their body at all.
You're very good at building and stuff like that, and that's what you should do.
Oh my God.
Building stuff. Oh my God.
Hold on.
Well, I won't go to blocklaying, Pauline, because I think you should think I should be a blocklayer. To be honest with you.
Here, did you hear this? When you hear this, that's the sound of Pauline throwing a rock at the moon. Sorry, Pauline. Pauline, that kind of attitude went out years ago. That men stay in men's jobs and women stay in women's jobs. Women have been fighting for rights for 100 years, and you've just set them back now 100 years.
I think that's what's wrong with this world. That's exactly what's wrong with this world.
So what, women should just stick to making beds, cooking, looking after children, working in hospitals, looking after the sick, and men should be out there on the beaches with guns in their hand, chopping wood and building things.
That's what's wrong. People don't know what their role is. They don't know what their place is. They don't know what their purpose is. And the kids are all coming home.
Okay, listen, I have to go to a break. AJ, my producer, you better get home. Look after your children, for God's sake. Imagine abandoning your children, AJ, to come into work. All right, some of your texts coming in. Somebody says, Niall, Pauline is off the Richter scale. Martin says, again, Niall, I understand what Pauline is saying, but most gynecologists and senior pediatric surgeons are men. And yeah, he's right. Most of them would be men. So I don't know what Pauline would do in that situation if she had to go to see a gynecologist. You can answer that question, Pauline, if you want to.
Yeah, ask him why did he want to become a gynecologist, since he's never had a period pain or any other part for that matter.
Why would a man want to become a gynecologist? Because he's a doctor. He's a doctor. That's just a specialist field he works in.
He would be if he became a gynecologist. But why would he want to specialise in something he doesn't have?
Yeah, I'm going to get her to switch you onto another line there, Pauline, because that particular line seems to be a bit glitchy for us. So I'm going to get you to switch on to maybe a different line. Let me go to Karen. Karen, hi, how are you?
Hi, Niall.
Karen.
My God.
I know, my blood's boiling too. Yeah.
I'm a female, and I'm even saying, what kind of a planet is Pauline living on? I'm so sorry, but now I've had kids go to a creche. At the time, there was no male workers there, but I done childcare years ago. There were males in my class who studied childcare. I worked as a healthcare assistant for 15 years. There were male healthcare assistants.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a new phenomenon? Absolutely. Was it a bit strange initially? Yes. But there's something for everybody, and who are we to decide what it is? I'm sorry, put on the wellies and get a shovel or whatever. But what? Are we living with this thing that rubbish?
But see, there is this. I mean, the emailer is the kind of same as Pauline to some degree, saying it irked me when I saw a man working in a creche. Do you see anything concerning about a man? Now, I know there isn't that many men working in creches. I'm well aware of that. But
it's minority.
It's a small amount, and there is some men working in creches. But do you think there's anything unusual about that or anything suspicious about that?
No, and I think going forward, there quite possibly will be more men that will go into that area. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as you say, there's male doctors, there's male nurses. What's the difference if your child, that's like saying, does a father have an issue with a female creche worker changing his son?
Yeah.
It's the same. I know it's probably not the same, but really it is.
But Pauline's argument is that, women have a nurturing ability, whereas men, that's not what they should be doing. Men should be out chopping wood and building houses.
But we all know that the word should is a word that we should never use. You know what I mean?
Should have, could have.
Should have, could have, would have. I'm a mother myself, yeah.
Would you have a problem if you had to put your child in a creche and you went in and there was a male worker? Would you have a problem with a male worker who's Garda vetted, by the way, and trained? Obviously had to do a training course to be a creche worker. Would you have a problem with them changing your child's nappy?
No, absolutely not.
Hey, Pauline, there you go. Karen wouldn't have an issue with it.
That's her business whether she would or
wouldn't. You told me earlier on there's no woman. You said no woman would allow that to happen.
Deliberately got somebody on. You spent a half an hour.
I didn't deliberately get somebody on.
Somebody who would agree and thinks it's normal. I know loads of people who think it's normal for men to work in creches and change infant nappies. I know loads who drop their kids. They drop their kids in with the Sandman. They don't give a shite. But I also know loads of people, including counsellors and TDs, who took their kids out of creches because men were working in them.
I don't know
and
any of them.
I can give you your names if you like.
I'd rather you didn't give me names on the air, but I don't know any of them. But please don't mention people's names on the air. Yeah, but I didn't go looking for Karen. Karen just came on.
Yeah, you got lucky. You found her.
I got lucky.
Yeah, I do not agree.
Pauline, I'm not getting lucky. I'm looking at all the texts here. I could pick any amount of them to come on and give out to you.
Yeah, but get 3 more then. Let's see how good you are.
Right. Well, I leave that up to AJ if she wants to, the producer, to put 3 more on. But in saying that, Pauline, you said to me, your argument was there is no woman listening here would put their child in a creche and allow a strange man, to change their nappy. Karen just said she would.
At the beginning, what I said was, like any mother, I would be concerned. That is what I said.
No, to be fair, Pauline, that's not what you said. You said there's no woman. You said.
That is definitely what I said, because I remember exactly.
Okay, well, you also just a second ago said any mother would be concerned. Karen is not concerned.
Yeah, most mothers, any normal mother would be concerned.
So Karen is not a normal mother. Okay.
I just want to interrupt you there. Karen, I'm a normal mother.
Okay, sorry, Karen. Well, hang on, let Karen speak. Let Karen speak, please. Karen.
Now, to be fair, Pauline, you have more than been given the opportunity to get your point across. But I am not I am a normal mother. I put normal very, very, very loosely in inverted
commas. You're not like the one that wrote in then, are you? Would you call her abnormal because she's concerned?
I never called that woman abnormal.
Oh, let her speak, Pauline,
But
please.
But to be fair, Pauline, you also said that you wouldn't drop your children to a stranger to have them minded. In the fairy tale world that we could live in, absolutely, that would be ideal if I never had to work and if I never had to have my children go to a childminder.
The world is what you make it, and they can all go along doing what they like, teaching children about sex and masturbation when they're 6 years old.
Oh, jeez.
But that's not what we're talking about tonight, to be fair.
But that's not what we're talking about. We've talked about that in the past in the SPHE, and we've talked about all of that, Pauline. That's not what we're talking about tonight.
And I have very strong opinions.
Where is the connection, Pauline? I'm looking for. Tell me where the connection is between a male creche worker and teaching children about sex. How are you linking the two of them together?
Here's how I'm linking the two together. It's all new. It's all new to what we were used to. It's all being pushed on us, and most of us don't like it and don't want it.
No, but I'm asking you. You haven't explained. Where's the link or the connection between the two topics? There isn't a connection.
Okay, you want to make a connection. You want it to be of a particular nature. Let me ask you this. 70 years ago, or let's say when the creches start, when the government started screwing young couples, making them go out like I don't know what in the dark in the mornings and drop their kids into establishments where there are now men working. How many years back did all that start? And at that time when it started, or the generation before it, did they have to endure what's being pushed on us nowadays and what we're being asked to endure? Men changing our infants' clothes, male and female teachers of different backgrounds, different religions, different faiths, telling our children how to masturbate and that it's okay for Tommy.
Who's telling you? Hold on, with the great respect, there's nobody telling your children how to masturbate.
That's what the children are being
told. No, hang on. You're talking about what the UN Charter has said. That is not on the curriculum currently in Ireland at the moment. Even
not
in the well, then stop saying it. Why are you saying we're teaching the children how to masturbate when it's not actually there? And then you turn around and go, "Well, not yet. It isn't."
They are teaching the children.
We're sending children. Noel, we're sending children to Mars in rockets. Well, no, we're not. But not yet. We are. But we will be.
What's the connection with that?
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. Go ahead, Karen. Yeah, go ahead, Karen.
Like, to be fair, like using Pauline's own quote there, the world is what we make it. People have a choice to not drop their kids where the creches are, or where there's.
And I'm one that would.
But and that's absolutely your prerogative, 100%. The same as my opinion is mine, and I'll own it. You know what I mean? But my son, for example, will never work at a construction site, or will never, without a doubt. And he's only a teenager, but I know there's no way that will be for him. Do I think it would be childcare? Probably not, most definitely either. But if it was to be, that would be his choice to make going forward in life. Does that mean that they couldn't be an SNA? Does that mean, you know what I mean? Does that mean that they couldn't work with kids with additional needs? There's
But Pauline doesn't even agree with male nurses, even psychiatric nurses or whatever, working with the elderly or with elderly females who might have to change their nappies because, they may be incontinent. She doesn't even agree.
The nicest, most empathetic healthcare assistants I have worked with have been males in the past.
Oh, Pauline would be.
I'm sure they are, and I'm sure they have golden balls and everything else. But here's the thing. In my opinion, it's not the nature of a man to either nurture an elderly woman or an elderly person who can't even speak to them, who can't react no more than an infant, or to nurture.
Okay. You made your point, Pauline. Listen, Pauline, Karen, thank you very much indeed. I need to move on.
Now, real people, real opinions. Nighttime Talk with Niall Boylan.
Ireland's classic hits radio.